Good morning to all and welcome to the session, the Hindu Editorial Analysis for Proficiency in English. Before we start the session, I would like to talk about a particular quote. What is today's quote? The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. We all have dreams, and the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. It is one thing to have dreams, and it is another thing to believe in your dreams. A very useful quote. Let us go to the editorial analysis. This editorial is all about uh, a technical problem, not that easy to understand. It goes with the problem being faced by the airports and the airlines because of the rollout of 5G services. A bit difficult to comprehend in the sense it deals with the technical aspects, and this editorial has so many words, more than 15 words, and some of the words are not easy to understand. You have to spend some time. Besides this editorial analysis, today you're going to work on errors, parajumble, cloze test, idioms, and as usual, editorial words. Now you can make out why I say this editorial is all about a technical problem because of 5G services at the airports and for the airlines. There are so many words. Some of these words are technical. Let us have a look at these words, and some of these are really important. Tangle, twist together into a confused mass, tangled in something. So twisted together into, or twist together into a confused mass. Rollout we have got recently. Officially launch or introduce a new product or service. I use this technical snag, technical glitch, hitch also you can say. Snag means an unexpected or hidden obstacle or drawback. All of a sudden you have an obstacle, impediment, block, bottleneck, unexpected. Then you say snag. Related to technology, you say a technical snag. Disruption, we have got many a time. Interruption of services, disturbance or problems which interrupt an event, activity, or process. Belated, usually this goes with the wishes. We say belated birthday wishes, belated wishes. Coming or happening later than should have been the case. I was supposed to wish someone yesterday, I could not wish, and today I would like to wish that person, then I say belated wishes. It goes with everyday English. Deployment, we have got so many times. Deploy, move troops or police or equipment into position for military action. Cite also, we have got many a time. Cite something means quote. You use some source, and as evidence, you try to show that that is known as citing. Accurate also, we have got many a time. Correct in all details, exact. Usually, it goes with information, accurate information. Altimeter, this is an important word in the sense sometimes they do ask questions based on the gadgets. An instrument for determining altitude attained, especially a barometric or radar device fitted in an aircraft. Cutout has many meanings. Cutout for something, ideal for something. Here, cutout, it has a negative connotation. To remove something from something larger. Larger, you remove, that is cutout. Assert something, asserted. State a fact or belief confidently and forcefully. There is another form, assertive, be assertive. I'm sure you all know the word buffer, a person or thing that forms a barrier between incompatible or antagonistic people or things. Something that acts as a buffer means what? It provides a cushion, a barrier between two incompatible things. Altitude, again, a technical term, the height of an object or point in relation to the sea level or ground level. From the ground level, from the sea level, the height we use the term altitude. Crucial, we have got many a time. Crucial means what? Decisive or critical or important, especially in the success or failure of something. Inclement goes with weather. In brackets, you can see we always say inclement weather. Unpleasantly cold or wet. You can also say bad weather. Impasse, a situation in which no progress is possible, especially because of disagreement. One word, impasse, a deadlock. Deadlock, then you can't expect a solution. Robust also we have got many a time, strong and healthy. You can also think of the word vigorous. Retrofitted, this is a new word, to provide a machine with a part or a place with equipment that the machine or place did not have when it was built. Something was built, that time there was no particular feature, and later that feature has been provided. Then we say retrofitted. Content has two or three meanings. In this context, assert something as a position in an argument. These are the words, more than 15 words. Let us go to the editorial. Technology tangle. Tangle means what? Twist together into a confused mass. It has a negative connotation. It talks about a problem, and tangle, twist, tangle, related words, and it is related to technology. So, two words, technology tangle. But what is the main idea of the editorial? The rollout of 5G services near airports. All this is the subject. You have two phrases, the rollout of 5G services near airports together. Is posing, which tense is this? Present continuous tense. Is posing what? A challenge to airlines, object. The rollout of 5G services, the rollout is a key expression. Of 5G services, one phrase, near airports, another phrase. Is posing a challenge to airlines. As I said, this editorial is all about the problems. It's a technical issue. This editorial not easy to understand, a bit technical, related to 5G services, related to operations at the airports, and also related to airlines. So it talks about the rollout. We have got this recently. A rollout means officially launch or introduce a product or a service. The rollout of 5G services near airports is posing a challenge to airlines. Pose a challenge, remember that expression, an important expression. Pose a challenge, pose a threat. We use that also. Pose a challenge to whom or to what? Airlines. Now it provides the background information. Almost 11 months after the United States leading telecommunications companies won bids Almost 11 months after the United States leading telecommunications companies won bids. Here, win, won. Bid, it has many meanings. One of the meanings, attempt. But bidding also goes with auction. At the auction, what people do, they try to bid. And you can use the word bid as a verb as well as a noun. One bids for 81 billion US dollars worth of C-band radio spectrum to roll out 5G services. The much awaited introduction hit a major snag this week after the country's leading airlines warned of massive flight disruptions if the wireless technology was put into operation, especially around the nation's airports. This sentence is a lengthy sentence. It talks about two companies, telecommunications companies from the US. The two companies won the bids. To what extent? Worth 81 billion US dollars of C-band radio spectrum. Why did they win the bid for that? There's a purpose to roll out, to launch 5G services. And they were supposed to launch in the month of Jan, on Jan 19th. The much awaited introduction hit a major snag. They were to introduce, and people waited for that. The much awaited means a lot of people waited. The much awaited introduction hit a major snag. There's one word over here, snag, unexpected or hidden obstacle or drawback. So, what is that snag? This week, after the country's leading airlines warned of massive flight disruptions, there was a snag. What is that snag? They could not launch. The reason being, the leading airlines of the country warned of something. Warned of what? Massive flight disruptions. The word disruption here it means a disturbance or problem which interrupts an event, an activity, or a process. If the wireless, why did they warn of something, disruptions? If the wireless technology was put into operation, especially around the nation's airports, so they are not compatible. On the one hand, you have the airports and the airlines. On the other hand, you have 5G services. This sentence talks about the problem. What is the problem here? Incompatibility. Compatible, matching. Incompatible, not matching. If these two US companies roll out the 5G services, it is going to be a problem for the airlines. Because of that, it may result in disruptions. Because of that, they warned of a problem. And what exactly happened based on that particular reaction or response? In a compromise, based on the warning or based on the problem, the two US companies, in a compromise on the eve of the planned rollout on January 19th, AT&T and Verizon agreed to delay introduction of the new wireless service near key airports because these airlines objected or they raised a concern in a compromise or in a way to accept or to look into the problem on the eve of the planned rollout on January 19th. They were supposed to. There's one important expression on the eve of, on the occasion of the planned rollout on January 19th. These two companies, they were to roll out the 5G services on January 19th, but in a compromise, AT&T and Verizon agreed to delay introduction of the new wireless service near key airports. They did not launch, they agreed to delay the introduction. The two major telecos commitments notwithstanding, an important word. Though they committed, they accepted, or they agreed to delay, the two major telcos commitments notwithstanding, several domestic and international airlines flying to the US have announced major rescheduling as well as a possibility of cancellation of flights to several destinations, citing warnings from the Federal Aviation Administration and aircraft makers that accurate functioning of radar altimeters in some aircraft may be affected by the 5G radio frequencies. Because of this, though they assured they committed in a compromise, they agreed to delay the introduction of the 5G services, the two companies. Many domestic and international airlines flying to the US have announced a major rescheduling as well as a possibility of cancellation of flights to several destinations. Why did they do that? Why did they announce rescheduling? Why did they announce the possibility of cancellation? Citing warnings, citing means quoting, referred to as evidence for or justification of an argument or statement. Quote, in a simple one word quote, citing warnings from the Federal Aviation Administration and aircraft makers that accurate functioning of radar altimeters in some aircraft may be affected by the 5G radio frequencies. There's a problem. They have announced, in spite of the assurance from the two companies, that they would delay the introduction of the services. Many airlines announced the possibility of cancellation as well as rescheduling. And what is the reason for that? They quoted the reason being based on FAA. Accurate functioning of radar altimeters in some aircraft may be affected. If the altimeter gets affected, obviously the pilot will have a problem and he will not be able to land or take off properly, especially landing becomes a problem. There are two words rather, accurate. We have got the word accurate many a time. Accurate means what? Exact, precise. And altimeter, what is the function of an altimeter? It plays a crucial role when it comes to flying, an instrument for determining altitude attained, especially a barometric or radar device fitted in an aircraft. So this plays a crucial role when it comes to flying. If this gets affected, according to FAA, these altimeters in some aircrafts may be affected by the 5G radio frequencies. Because of that, they had to reschedule, they had to cancel. Now the editorial talks about the importance of altimeters. The altimeters provide information on an aircraft's altitude and are a crucial part of flight operations for pilots. For pilots, altimeter is very important. They play a crucial part, means what? Important part, vital part, particularly while seeking to make low visibility landings in inclement weather. As I said, landing is very important. In fact, a lot of experienced pilots also, when it comes to landing, Smooth landing is very important. Only a few usually make a perfect landing. We always experience a bumpy ride, and when the aircraft hits the land, you can feel the impact. It is not usually it is not that smooth. And here, when it comes to landing, altimeter plays a crucial role. The sentence talks about that. The altimeters provide information on an aircraft's altitude. What is this altitude? The height from the ground level or the height from the sea level, and are a crucial part of flight operations. Altimeters play a vital role when it comes to flight operations for pilots, especially or particularly while seeking to make low visibility landings in inclement weather. There's one word over here, inclement, means generally we say inclement, bad weather, extremely cold or wet. And inclement weather, not easy, the visibility gets affected. And that time, low visibility, imagine making a landing, not that easy, even for experienced pilots. They take the help of the altimeter. If the altimeter gets affected because of 5G services, obviously it is going to be a major problem. Landing becomes a major problem. Now it talks about the major reason for this particular impasse. Impasse means a deadlock. At the heart of the impasse, at the heart of the, that is an important phrase, at the heart of the impasse lies, impasse means a deadlock. At the heart of the impasse lies the fact that both the 5G services and some flight equipment operate on the same C-band radio spectrum. This is a bit technical. As I said, the editorial says at the beginning of the editorial, the two US companies they won the bids to related to C-band radio spectrum. The problem is here. These companies, the 5Gs, those the companies which provide 5G services, they depend on C-band radio spectrum. At the same time, the airlines also depend on C-band radio spectrum. That is the at the heart of the problem, at the heart of the impasse. That is a problem. Lies the fact that both the 5G services and some flight equipment operate on the same C-band radio spectrum, with only the frequencies varying. The radio spectrum is the same, but the frequencies may vary. The FAA has said it is working with the altimeter manufacturers to evaluate data from the wireless companies to determine how robust each model is and, if required, have their devices retrofitted or replaced. Now they are trying to find out how to come out of this impasse or how to find a solution. The FAA has said it is working with altimeter manufacturers. That is the most important thing for a pilot, to evaluate data from the wireless companies to determine how robust each model is and, if required, have the devices retrofitted. Robust, we have got many a time. What does it mean? Strong and also vigorous, strong and healthy, vigorous. Retrofit, that's a new word. Retro means going back, something that goes into the past. To provide a machine with a part or a place with equipment that the machine or place did not have when it was built. Imagine a particular product has been built, that time it did not have a particular feature. At a later stage, that particular feature has been provided, then we use the word retrofitted. Now it talks about around the world, the US and around the world, what is happening and what are the problems related to rollout of 5G services in relation to the airlines or the airports. The fact that the world's largest economy is now faced with the risk of large scale domestic and international air travel disruptions as a result of the relatively belated rollout of 5G telecom services points to peculiar problems with the US market, including the particular frequencies allotted there for 5G. Every country, the frequencies are different. That's what we have to understand. The fact that a lengthy sentence, the fact that the world's largest economy is now faced with the risk of large scale domestic and international air travel disruptions because of a problem over here as a result of the relatively belated rollout. Already the word belated we have seen, delayed rollout of 5G telecom services points to the, what does it point to? Points to the peculiar problems of the US market, including the particular frequencies allotted there for 5G. South Korea, now it talks about what is happening in other countries. South Korea, China, and Japan, and several European nations have already successfully rolled out 5G services, and the US telecompanies, telcos, have cited the lack of problems in these jurisdictions as evidence that the FAA and airlines need to do more to find solutions to the deployment of the wireless technology near airports. Now, the US companies, they have given one particular few examples where the 5G services have been rolled out and lack of problems. They don't have any problems. Things have been going very smoothly. Based on that, they say the FAA and airlines need to do more to find solutions to the deployment of the wireless technology near airports. Now, the responsibility, the onus is on FAA and airlines. They need to do more to find solutions to the deployment. Deployment usually goes with police, army, and it means what? To move into position, troops, whenever there is a problem. Deployment, in this context, it goes with deployment of the wireless technology near airports. Because rollout of 5G services in other countries, no problems as such. Only here there's a problem. That means something has to be done to find a solution. The FAA on its website has pointed to the specifics of the proposed 5G rollout in the US with a comparison to the situation in France and asserted that some key differences pose challenges. What is the stand taken by FAA? There is one stand taken by the two telcos and there is a stand taken by FAA. This talks about that. The FAA on its website has pointed to the specifics of the proposed 5G rollout in the US with a comparison to the situation in France and assert is an important word, state a fact of belief confidently and forcefully that some key differences pose challenges. There are some differences. What are those differences? For one, the aviation regulator contends planned buffer zones for the US airports only protect the last 20 seconds of flight, while in France, the last 96 seconds of flight are protected from any interruption from 5G signals. There is a variation. In the US, 20 seconds, the last 20 seconds. In France, last 96 seconds. That makes a lot of difference. And there are a few words over here. One is content, assert something as a position in an argument, and buffer, something that acts in between two antagonistic forces. Also, 5G power levels are lower in France, with even the planned temporary nationwide lower power levels in the US still expected to be 2.5 times more powerful. France, the power is different, power levels are different. US power levels are different. In the US, they plan to bring them down. In spite of that, it could be 2.5 times more powerful. These differences pose challenges. Now, how does the editorial end? US President Joe Biden and his administration will have their task cut out. Cut out for has a different meaning, but here, cut out to remove something from something larger. In pushing to hammer out a long term solution to this impasse so as to minimize any further disruption to the already pandemic hit global travel and trade sectors. Already, if you take airlines and airports, the industry, aviation industry, already badly affected because of COVID-19. Already pandemic hit global travel and trade sectors, aviation industry. So they have to minimize impact because of this particular problem. The new problem, what is it? In the form of 5G services. So it talks about that. It says some solution has to be found immediately. Based on this editorial, which is rather technical, what are the questions you can think of? Comprehension point of view. What is this editorial about? Not easy to write. What is posing a challenge to airlines? This is easy to answer. What did the country's leading airlines warn of? This is also easy to answer based on the keywords. What lies at the heart of the impasse? The entire editorial is based on a particular impasse, a deadlock. So, what lies at the heart of the deadlock or impasse? Once you read, you should be able to answer this. What points to the peculiar problems of the US market? Frequencies are different, power levels are different, all those things you have to mention. Now, let us go to practice questions based on exam topics. Today, some of the exercises are quite challenging, not easy to answer. Let's see how you guys are going to take. First five questions go with error location. The fire is believed to be the result of a drone attack in the port area where the ADNOC storage facilities are housing. Exactly. Impact of 5G on airlines. Very good. Who is this? Yashwant. Please go to error location. The first one, try to spot the error. The fire is believed to be the result of a drone attack in the port area where the ADNOC storage facilities are housing. In 24, we can't say. Madhav says there's an error in the fourth part. What is that error? Always remember, just don't mention the number. Write the correct form. That helps you guys. I don't get benefited, but you will definitely get benefited. Once you write the correct form, you are in a way you are consolidating your knowledge. What is this about? A bit difficult to make out. Anyhow, there is an error in the fourth part. I do agree, but what is that error? Exactly. That's what I expect from you guys. Here, the word housing is not correct. They are housed. You have to say housed. Storage facilities are housed. House here, it has been used as a verb, not as a noun. And it is in present tense passive voice. Any sentence in passive voice, we have to use the main verb in past participle form. House, housed, housed. That you have to recollect. What is this question about? It is about present tense, one thing, passive voice. Second, it is about the word form. Word form. Word is right, the form is not correct. Go to question number two. Why do you say English too poor? You got 23 attempts, 23 correct, 29 out of 32. Why do you say you're not good at English? You should say something like you would like to score more or you would like to improve your score. Usually we say poor when we come across a single digit. It is not a single digit. Very good. What is the subject of this sentence? Group. A group of ministers, a phrase, to study the twin objectives and submit required guidelines, a phrase, were finalized. Here, the subject is group. After that, you have phrases you don't have to consider. Group, a collective noun. A collective noun usually takes a singular verb. It is considered one entity. Based on that, a group was finalized, not were. What is this question about? One thing, subject verb agreement. It is also about collective noun. You have to know that group is a collective noun. Then you should also know the rule. Collective nouns usually take a singular verb. Only then you can spot the error. Please go to question number 3. Indian origin, this word jatara. In English, we say fair, but this is a typical Indian word. It must have entered English language. Like that, there are 2,000 words that have entered English language, words of Indian origin. But this question, let's see how you guys are going to take. The biennial Jatara draws lakhs of devotees, including tribals and non tribals, from within the state and also neighboring states to Medaram during the mega tribal fair. You got to read carefully. No one has responded. As I said, this is not an easy one. No, nothing wrong with neighboring states. Perfect. No error over there. No, no. Nothing wrong with that expression. Answer is no error. There is no error whatsoever. The biennial Jatara, this is a subject, draws verb, lakhs of devotees, no problem, subject, verb, object, including tribals and non tribals, nothing wrong. From where? From within the state and also neighboring states, no problem. To which place? Medaram, when? During the mega tribal fair, no problem. Answer is no error. I will not delete. Who is this? Delete within. I will not. There's nothing wrong with that. Please go to question number 4. Answer is no error. From within. Absolutely no problem with that. Funny. Please go to question number 4. The behavior of any athlete that is against Olympic spirit or Chinese rules or laws will be subject to certain punishment. No response. This is rather easy. All of you remember any question based on rules, easy to answer. We have about 200 rules, and all the rules, if you are damn sure about the rules, you can answer within no time. But if the question is based on the context, contextual awareness, difficult. This question is based on a rule, a particular rule. You guys have already learned, will be subject to. Nothing wrong with this. There is an error. Will be subjected to, passive voice. Will be subject to, here it is future, active voice. Nothing wrong with that expression. You guys have forgotten there is one rule that goes with articles. What is that rule? The definite article the. Before sports events, we have to use a definite article the. The Olympics, the World Cup, the Wimbledon, the Australian Open. Before individual sports, no article. But here, Olympic spirit, the Olympic spirit, we have to say against the the Olympic spirit, the Olympics. Based on that, the Olympic spirit. The definite article the is missing. That is the error. There is an error in the second part. Against the Olympic spirit, then it is correct. Without the, it is not correct. This is based on a rule. Any question based on a rule, easy to answer. Do remember, you can't afford to miss. Any question based on contextual awareness, not easy. Some justification. Go to question number 5. Australia and New Zealand dispatched naval vessels carrying material to help to provide temporary shelter and clean drinking water after volcanic eruption. This is also easy. Yes, there's a possibility to go for that because already you have a fixed idea. They are subjected to, they will be subjected to. It's a different pattern. I've taken it from an international magazine. When you read international magazines, you come across different sentence patterns, not the regular ones we are used to. If you take this sentence, is from a magazine from the UK, and this also from an international magazine. And do remember when you read international magazines, the words are different, the sentence patterns are different. Usually we are not exposed to those patterns. Yes, here whenever you see words like make, help, get, you should become alert and you have to think of causative verbs, the rule. What is the rule? Causative verbs in active voice, they don't take the preposition to. So to is not correct. Australia and New Zealand dispatched naval vessels carrying material to help provide temporary shelter. To help provide temporary shelter. Perfect. We should not use the preposition to. The question is related to causative verbs. Who has got all the five correct error location? Three are from the Hindu paper, two are from an international magazine. If someone says, Sir, I got all the five correct, wonderful. Three, good enough. And do remember, any question based on rules, you can't afford to miss. You should be able to answer. You have to answer. But any question based on contextual awareness to some extent can be justified. You have a para jumble, only five parts, four pretty good, I appreciate. Lakshman, Govardhan, Arvind, all these students. No problem, nothing to worry. Some of the questions are not easy, lengthy sentences, unfamiliar context, a bit difficult. Let us go to para jumble, only five parts. Usually I bring six, but today only five. So should be easy for you guys. Should not be that difficult to get the correct order. Three is also good, Bhavana, good enough. Oh, who is this? Nagamani joined late last two. What is the first one over here? Take elimination approach. Instead, cannot be the first one. Risks in 2020 could be both. But here it doesn't look like the starting sentence. Eliminate. An intense debate is on among political strategists and commentators about what is in store in 2022. This could be the first one. Democracy itself could face serious headwinds this year. You cannot decide. Most hew to the view that cannot be the first one. So, what is the first one here? An intense debate is on among political strategists and commentators about what is in store in 2022. Obviously, it should be. C is the first one. B is not the second one. No, no, don't be hasty. Look at it very carefully. Here, an intense debate is on among political strategists. After that, you have most. Here, most means most of them. Most of them means political strategists. So after C, it should be E. Had they given, no, no, Shivaji, please listen. Who is this, Shivaji or Tanuja? Please listen. It is not B. Second one is E. Had they given most of them, you could have answered. Second one is obviously E. But you don't see the phrase most of them, most few. So it is understood most of them. If you see most of them, then you know for sure them refers to political strategists, and you can make out after C it is E. Hew means follow, stick to, follow something, comply with, or stick to, or take a particular stand. One of the meanings. So most of them hold the view. Here it means hold the view or stick to the view that follow the view that, stick to the view that. One word is enough to get the correct order. If you don't respect the word most, then it's gone. I don't think someone has chosen Muhammad has got CE. Yes. So after that, most hew to the view that a rules based international order is a remote possibility. Instead, that is a remote possibility. Instead or in place of that, what? Based on that, A should be the third one. CEA, one idea. Instead, uncertainty and impermanence are likely to be the dominant aspect in world affairs. Risks in 2022 could be both domestic and geopolitical, with many precepts that the world has been accustomed to being at risk. Then we have B. Democracy itself could face serious headwinds this year. D is BD, the last one. Yes, Govardhan. CEABD. That is the correct order. Funny also got the same one. I think some more students. Perfect. Now we have close test. Many of these words are very important. That's why I have brought. And not one slide. Same context. Two slides. Total about 11 words. All the words are very important. Try to get, try to get at least 8 or 8 plus out of 11, not 10. Please have a look at this one. You have 5 blanks and 5 words. You have to choose the right word. Always think of word combinations, grammar knowledge, lexical terms, contextual awareness, only then. Yes, here the clue for you task. We have come across many a time. Daunting task. What is it? A daunting task. This is a typical word combination. Formidable, challenging, something very difficult. A daunting task awaits the health department to prevent spread of coronavirus infections during the 3-day Samakka Saraka Jatara. What is the second one? Do remember, this is a very useful close test. Now on, I'm going to bring regularly close tests. There are two things. You can enrich your word power, and you also develop the skill how to choose the appropriate word based on contextual awareness, word combinations, grammar knowledge, lexical terms, all these. Congregation is not the word here. No, no, no. Here you cannot say draws as. That is not correct. Look at the next word after the blank. You have to look at the word one before the word after the blank. The 3-day Samakka Saraka Jatra draws as no. Dominated as no. Build as, here answer is build means named, labeled, designated. Build as a country's largest tribal. Yes, who is this? Tapa got it right, Siddharth. Build, very good. After that, I see Nagamani also. No, no, that is build is for the second blank. Build. As a country's largest tribal congregation. You don't have to look at one reading, you should be able to. Tribal congregation. Congregation means a gathering. Answer is congregation. Scheduled to be held in Medaram village in the tribal dominated Mulugu district from February 16 to 19. The biennial Jatra draws lakhs of devotees. Draws means here pulls lakhs of devotees. So daunting task, build as what? the country's largest tribal congregation, tribal dominated. All these are based on word combinations, contextual awareness. The Jatra draws lakhs of devotees. Continuation of the same text. This is a bit difficult, but if you read, you should be able to. Please write the word, that is always better. The blank number and the word. That way you can, and also memorize. Draws lakhs of devotees. Try to make a note of that. Daunting task. Tell yourself once or twice, then you will be able to remember. Ah, that's very good, Govardhan. Draws lakhs of devotees. If you write that way, you will be able to consolidate. Anticipating, yes, here, anticipating a large, not deploy, anticipating. You have to understand the context. Contextual awareness is very important. Anticipating a large turnout means a large number. Anticipating a large turnout of devotees during the next month's Jatara. The health department, exactly, Madhav, I appreciate that. When you write, you will be able to remember. Anticipating a large turnout of devotees would have been better. During the next month's Jatra, the health department, not deploy. Deploy out is not correct. Please consider the word after the blank. The health department, deploy out, we don't say. And the context goes into the past. No, no. Understand the context. Sharked out. Adi got it right. The health department sharked out. Here, chugged out. Shark out means to consider, to think, to deliberate, a plan. Usually it goes with a plan. What is a typical combination? Have you chalked out your plan for 2022? Chalk out a plan, a typical combination. The health department chalked out a elaborate plan to deploy. Here you have to use the word deploy. More than 1,300 staff, including doctors, nurses, paramedical staff, and healthcare workers in and around the Jatra site. The different government departments involved in the organization and conduct of the Jatra are bracing up, getting ready, preparing, are bracing up, grammar knowledge, present continuous, are bracing up, again a phrasal verb. Bracing up for what? For the tough task of ensuring strict compliance with, comply with, already have learned many a time the typical combination, compliance noun form, compliance with, strict compliance with the COVID-19 safety precautions. If you read the newspapers, what is the advantage? You will be able to answer all these effortlessly. Out of 11, first slide 5, this slide 6, total 11. Imagine there is a student who has been reading the Hindu paper or any English newspaper for that matter for the last 6 months or 1 year. He or she will definitely get 10 minimum, or may get all the 11 and may say, damn easy, not a problem at all. But those who don't read, they may get 7 or 8, they may stop somewhere over there, or 5 also, there's a possibility. This is the reason why I tell you guys, read the Hindu paper, read the newspaper regularly. Bank exams, especially, one year maximum, 9 months, in fact, you will get selected. Not one bank or two banks, at least 3 or 4 bank jobs you can get. Mark my words, no exaggeration. Let us go to idioms. His statement is out and out a lie. So what does it mean? Out and out. Oh, Nagamani, 4 out of 5. 5 out of 6. 9. That's good. 8 or 8 plus. Good enough. Pretty good. Others start reading the newspaper. That's it. Very simple. Every problem has a solution. His statement is out and out lie. Means completely. Not simply, not merely, not slightly. We are running out of time, so try to answer quickly. The heavy downpour played havoc. We also use one more expression, wreak havoc. So, what does it mean? Played havoc, wreak havoc. Totally or completely, also remember. Please make it a habit to write the word. That helps in the long run. And tell yourself, here out and out lie means completely or totally. When you tell yourself once or twice, you will be able to remember. The heavy downpour played havoc in the coastal area. It means caused destruction. Destruction on a large scale, we use that expression. Please go to question number 3. Idiom number 3. To have a green thumb means green fingers. British English, green thumb, American English. What does it mean? Yes, you guys got it right. Second one, go to the third one. To have a green thumb means to be good at gardening, to have a natural interest in gardening, or to be good at gardening. Exactly. Very ambitious people do not like to rest on their laurels. Rest on their laurels. This is an important one. Idiom number 4. Usually we say, don't rest on your laurels. What does it mean? No one has answered. 4, 2, no. To be motivated, to be impatient. Answer is a fourth option. Yes, Asha has got it right. After that, many students. To be complacent, you achieve something and you're satisfied, you're very happy. Then it is known as complacency. Complacency is very dangerous. You should not become complacent. Answer, to be complacent. Not easy to make a guess. Yes, Bhavana. You have to know. Rest on your laurels. Laurels means accomplishments, achievements. Don't rest on your laurels means don't become complacent. Don't be extremely happy and stop there. If you become complacent, you don't feel like doing something more. You cannot go to the higher level. If he phones again, I'm going to give him a piece of my mind. Self satisfaction, exactly, Adi. Yes, yes, Bhavana, you're right. It is not advisable to guess because you have negative marks. Not at all advisable. If you are damn sure, you should answer. Element of doubt, don't attempt. Not advisable. If he phones again, I'm going to give him what? A piece of my mind. Give someone a piece of your mind. What does it mean? Literally, you cannot do that. You have to know the meaning. To be nice to him, to take revenge on him, to support him, to reprimand him. Give someone a piece of your mind means to scold, to reprimand, to chide, to rebuke. All these words you have to think. Reprimand, scold, chide, rebuke. Let us go to the last slide for today. Editorial vocabulary. Some important words are there. Try to get all the 10 out of 10. Because you have listened at the outset the words and the meanings, then while doing the analysis, I told the meanings. This is a third round. You should get all the 10 correct. It should be that way. Tangle, 4, good, that's good. Out of 5, 4, pretty good idioms. So tangle, tangled, it's a regular verb. Tangled in something. From this related word, entangle, tangle and tangle. One, so I, no, no. Yes. Twist together into a complicated mass. Twist together into a complicated or complex mass. It is nothing but getting entangled in something. Roll out is a phrasal verb we have got in the recent past. It means what? Officially launch a product or a service. Snag, it takes the adjective technical, technical glitch, technical snag, unexpected obstacle, sudden unexpected obstacle. Snag, noun, J. Disrupt, disrupted, disrupted. It's a regular verb. Interrupt the services usually. B. Deploy, deployed, deployed. It is also a regular verb. Move into position the troops. Whenever there is a problem in a particular place, the army, the police, the troops are deployed. They are moved into position so as to take action. D. Cite, we have got many a time. Cite, cited, cited. Means what? Quote. Show something, provide something as evidence to substantiate your statement. Assert, asserted, asserted. What is a noun adjective form? Assertive. Assertive, an important word. At the workplace, you have to be assertive, but here it is a verb. Means what? State confidently something. H. Inclement weather, a typical combination. Unpleasantly cold or wet. You can also say bad weather, adjective. It takes the word weather, G. Impasse, noun. Means what? A deadlock. Robust, we have got many a time. Robust, C. Vigorous. I don't know how many of you have got all the 10, but you should get all the 10 correct. Today's schedule at 8 a.m., the Hindu Editorial Analysis we have just done. 10 a.m., we have Unacademy Plus platform, SSC, CHSL, and CGL Foundation batch, and 11:45 SSC, CHSL, and CGL practice batch, Unacademy Plus platform. 7:30 p.m. SSC, CHSL, and CGL important questions, Unacademy SSC YouTube channel. 6 p.m. SSC, CHSL, and CGL special free class, confusing words, important topic. You don't have to pay. Unacademy Plus platform. That's all for today. Have a nice day. Thanks for being with me till 8:59. Do remember to subscribe and share. Join the Telegram group. The link is provided after the session. Go to the description of the video. Click on the link. And after the session, I'll provide the PDF. Try to work on important questions, words, and try to get end